been a long time coming, but it's finally here. This is Women Evolve, Narratives of Love, Pain, Strength, Redemption of Single Women. It's by Dr. Kwaku Person-Lynn. He's a PhD out of UCLA. He's an author, musicologist, an educator. He does so many things. He has African World Civilizations as well as Black History for Young People. He's taught, many people remember him from African Mental Liberation Weekend that he used to do on KPFK. 2 days of nonstop lecturing by different authors and thinkers and writers and people like that. But right now, he has come out with a book. It's called Women Evolve. And let's talk to Dr. Kwaku Person-Lynn. Dr. Kwaku, you have a book about women. You are the father of 5 sons. Why women?
Well, it's always concerned me about relationships. The theme of the book centers around relationships. I originally wanted to interview men, but I was finding that men have problems talking with other men about their weaknesses and so forth. So there's a lot of ego involvement. But when I talked to different ladies, different women, they were wide open. They were all for it. So I decided to interview a number of women related to relationships so that we can have a better understanding of the internal things that go on and meeting and why you're together and why you break up. And because all the women that I interviewed are single. And so I wanted to know what went on in the relationships that ultimately led you to now being single. So that's the crux of it, is going through the mechanics and the physics and all the things involved in relationships from a male interest and a female perspective.
All right, so in your philosophy, being in a relationship is the normal thing, the correct thing, and being single is a problem?
No, it's not a problem. I just want to understand why these various different ladies could not stay in a relationship from their perspective.
I have a number of single women friends who feel like they're fine. They don't need to be in a relationship, and that's their life choice.
And I found some women who were like that. You know, there were 2 or 3 women who, could take it or leave it, and they were happy and content with being themselves, some with children.
It says here, in Women Evolved, you will learn how Rita, Kamala, Georgia, and all the rest navigate their lives with men, love, and a myriad of other emotions. And it has 3 people on the back of the book. It kind of goes through the range in ages from 34, 42, 52. So you selected the range. How did you select the women?
Well, some that I knew, some were referred, and some that I just walked up to and told them what I was doing and asked them if they would be willing to, allow me to interview them for a book. And so I wanted to get different age ranges, different income brackets, different educational levels, different sociological levels, so that we'd have a nice variety from various different women from various different perspectives.
So in this book, if people could only read one, which one do you think they should read?
That's a hard one because different women fit the situations with individual women. I mean, there are some women who could care less about having a man or not, so there are some women with that. There's some who have children and are single and would desire to have a partner. That's represented. There's, a lady in there who has lesbian aspirations. She's in there. So there's a variety of different women from different situations, different family backgrounds. I wanted to have a myriad, a rainbow of women so that, almost any woman who picked up the book could have someone in there that they could relate to.
So you want women to relate to the book. What kind of response have you received from people who read the book already?
Well, I really just allowed women to read it, and the response was just overwhelming. I mean, when they were reading this is an Oprah Winfrey book. You've got to get this out there. There's nothing out there like that. And before I even began doing the book, I did some research to see if there was another book. And there was not another book. There was one that was published in the 60s with various different quotes from various different women, but it wasn't centered in terms of a theme. Mine is centered on women who are single, and we're talking about their relationships. This is the only book, and the publisher did the same thing. She did some research, and we could not find any book with this theme and this topic. So it's one of a kind at the moment.
What does it mean to you to have a female publisher?
Oh, I think it's great. It doesn't matter to me who the publisher is. What I look at, are they good? Can they deliver? Can they do what they say they can do? Can they distribute the book? Can they promote it, advertise it, market it? That's what I look at. I don't care. It could be anybody as long as they have the ability. But, when I met the publisher, it was totally by accident. We were in Eso Won Books. I think there was a book signing or something going on, a book fair. She's very dedicated, I think very experienced. She knows what she's doing. She's had books published. But, when we talked about the book, I sent her a chapter. I sent her the first chapter. And she read that, and then she said, well, can you send me the whole book? So I sent her the whole manuscript at the time. It wasn't published, just a manuscript form. And she said, this is a bestseller. And I said, well, if you would like to publish it, I would be honored to be, one of your writers. And she was very, thankful. Thank you for letting me publish it. We're both happy with each other. She's a really nice person to work with. And that's one of the things that I was concerned with. You can always go to a big publisher, New York publisher, etc. But I would rather work with someone that I can work with. I'm not dealing with a large corporation with different layers of different this, that, and the other. I'm dealing with an individual who I can call at any time and talk about different things. The last time we talked, I asked her, what is your marketing plan? And so we sat down and went over the whole marketing plan. And I was very happy and satisfied with that.
So why should the listener, anybody who's watching this interview, buy a copy of Women Evolve, Narratives of Love, Pain, Strength, Redemption of Single Women by Dr. Kwaku Person-Lynn?
I think those who seriously want to be successful in a relationship should read it for various different reasons. One, finding out these are women of various ages who were not successful in their relationships. And maybe by going over what they went through, they can prevent or keep from making the same mistakes. It's like, to me, if I had my way, any woman who was going to get married, I would say it would be mandatory to read this book, because a lot of people, a lot of women and men get married and have no idea what marriage is like. While they're courting, everything is peaches and cream and lovey-dovey, et cetera, et cetera. But once you're in there and you're waking up and going to bed together, you're going through your bills and all the other things you have to go through, it's a whole nother ball game. And so I think it's just necessary to know, well, all these women were primarily married. Some of them have children. Why didn't it work out? And so looking at the interior of their relationships, maybe they can pick up some tips, some advice, some experience that will allow them to be successful in their relationships.
Do you think it was mostly the woman's fault or the man's fault?
It goes both ways. When I was interviewing them, one of the first things I said, this is not a, jump on the man book. This is dealing with the real realities of a relationship, your faults, his faults, the things you did together that were good, the things you did together that were not good, what ultimately led to the breakup. And so I specifically stated that this is not a male bashing thing. If that's where you're coming from, then we just can't use it. I want people to be able to read it and look at the interior of what relationships are all about.
How do we get Women Evolved?
Well, to be published August 19th, and according to the publisher, it will go to the major distributor. I can't think of the name of the distributor that distributes books to all the bookstores. So if you go in a bookstore and it's not there, tell them that you want it, and they can get it up on their computer in a hot second and order the book. But hopefully it'll be in the stores. There will be an ebook also.
Okay. So we might want to look at Amazon.com and things like that. So what is the one thing I didn't ask you that you would like people to know about Women Evolved?
One thing I do want to say, the cover. The statue on the cover of my book, Women Evolve, was created by Tina Allen, who I consider one of the best sculptors in the country. The graphic designer, Renee Cross Washington, she's the only graphic designer I work with because she's quality oriented. She kind of knows me. She did my last book. She can read my heart, my mind, and when I give her a concept, she'll give me several different versions, and we whittle it down until we both are happy with what we see. For those who really want to have a true insight of what an intimate relationship is about from a woman perspective, there is no other book that is going to give you that than this book, Women Evolved. I'm very proud of it. The women that I allowed to review it said this was just powerful. That's why they said this is an Oprah book. And I feel that once you get through the book, you will have a really great insight to what an intimate relationship is all about, and hopefully giving you the cues and ideas and perspectives to succeed in your own relationship.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Kwaku, for speaking with us. If you'd like to get Women Evolved, don't forget August 19th, and the class is September 27th at the Ladera Community Center. So we hope to see you at either one or more. Book signings will be coming up. Go to drkwaku.com and join the mailing list so that you can get notices about all the wonderful things that are about to happen. Congratulations, and thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you.